Both Republicans and Democrats are calling upon Governor Gavin Newsom, to fix or repeal a new law that creates a monthly fixed electricity surcharge based on household income. On this Wired Wednesday, we check in with GV Wire multimedia journalist Nancy Price to try and understand the new law better. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning.
Is this a fixed surcharge? Is this on top of what people are already paying for electricity and gas?
Well, not exactly. What the law is intended to do is to separate the cost of the electricity and utilities infrastructure, whether it's operations or maintenance. That's a fixed cost. And then customers also today are paying for the amount of electricity that they use by the kilowatt hour. All of that right now is folded together into their bills. So where we are paying for both the fixed costs of the utilities as well as for how much electricity that we're using. Once these fixed charges are set, and the controversy is that they want to set them according to people's income levels, so that higher income folks would be charged a higher fixed charge and lower income a lower fixed charge, and that's to try to attain some equity, across the board. Whether or not that's going to drive up the costs altogether, they say it's supposed to be revenue neutral, but folks definitely who are higher income, who already have their solar systems, if they have to pay, one of the proposals was as much as $128 a month fixed charge, no matter how much or how little electricity you used, that would be probably a significant hit to at least higher income folks' bills. Lower income folks who are on the CARE program might not see much difference, or possibly see some fixed charges, but the critics say it's going to hurt efforts to encourage people to conserve, because if it doesn't matter, if you conserve or not, then you'll be paying for the electricity that you use as opposed to how much the fixed charges are.
Well, it seems like there's been little discussion about these fixed charges. How long did the legislature debate this, and were there any public hearings?
Well, that's one of the controversies that's being raised by some of the lawmakers now, especially some of them who voted against it back in 2022. It was put into a budget trailer bill, Assembly Bill 205, in effect was this empty shell of a bill that was waiting to have language put into it. And it was energy language, and specifically to establish or to authorize the Public Utilities Commission to establish fixed charges based on income levels. So it came in the waning days of the 2022 session, very little discussion. In effect, it was put in by the Senate and then voted by Assembly and Senate, and then signed by the governor. So really no discussion there. And one of the criticisms now is that the PUC, probably because they have a short deadline, they're not having public hearings in that they're not allowing the public to participate in these hearings unless they've been signed on as someone who's authorized to participate, like some of these nonprofits. There are very few citizens who signed on. I spoke to one last year, and she lives in the Bay Area, but she knows the process and she was able to get herself included. But if you and I wanted to participate in those public hearings, we couldn't do it. We can only sign on through the public comment process, which is on the website.
Well, what are the law's critics saying about it?
Well, it seems as if the folks who are signing on for solar now are, in effect, it was like bait and switch to them. They were told, well, if you get your solar system, your costs will go down, you'll be helping, the environment. And really, this is all about trying to reduce our greenhouse gases, to encourage more people to go with solar systems, which is, valid and a valuable thing to happen. But the folks who are signing on now are finding that the cost of reselling the electricity back to the utility companies, they're getting less of that money than they would have gotten previously. And now if they have to pay a fixed charge, the overall cost of having to pay for their solar systems plus this fixed charge means that they probably would have been better off if they hadn't installed the solar systems in the first place. And so there's a lot of anger on the parts of folks who have tried to do what they think is the right thing to do, which is to not only improve the environment, but also lower their own energy costs. But what's been happening is that as people are adopting solar, fewer people are paying the electric bills altogether. The revenues have been going down, and that means the fixed costs are having to be shared by the folks who aren't on solar yet or can't afford to go on solar, and those are the folks who can least afford it. So it's really become an equity issue as well as, I call it a quagmire.
Nancy Price with GV Wire. We thank you for your time this morning on this Wired Wednesday, and great day. We'll be right back.